Hi everyone. You guys have seen the news of what's gone on, and um, whether it was through Instagram or through the title of this video, um, it's not something that we thought we would have to share. Um, Something that definitely like shocked both you and I. Sorry, it's okay. But unfortunately, we had to put down my horse Emporio. It's been a very difficult couple of days. We put him down on
Monday.
Monday, yeah. So we've had a couple of days to kind of come to terms with everything, and I want to say foremost thank you to everyone for the support online, on just in my messages and the comments, people that send stuff to our house. It's been really, really, really sweet and really appreciated, actually.
Been very sweet.
Yeah.
And I think also talking about it now is important and good because he's been such a big part of everything. And it's hard that it's just over like that, but it's good to talk about it
And I think,
share it because we
yeah,
felt a lot of love from your side,
yeah,
from the media side and people we know, and yeah.
and I think for a lot of people it came as a shock, and I mean it was a shock for us too, everything, but there was more of a story to it, so it's not that like it was a road I think we were heading down, but we didn't know it would be this soon, I think.
I mean, I think you've tried for many years to make him happy and comfortable, and there were like some health things why he also retired earlier. Now we were just hoping for him to retire a bit longer than only this. But it's been beautiful that he has been here at home, at least for a bit of time, but it would have been great if it was longer.
Yeah.
But that's with your whole story, it's just not fair.
For a lot of you guys that have been following us from the very beginning, because it was kind of like on my channel, we've documented from the moment basically I first put my eyes on him to today. You guys have kind of been through the whole journey, so I wanted to give you a better understanding as to what led us to having to make that decision, because it's, I mean, I feel like we obviously care very deeply for him, but a lot of other people do too, and I think I want to share that with you guys so that there's an understanding. I saw online some people maybe making some speculations, and I wanted to address that because some things were not true. So for a little bit of background, I got Emporio when he was 3. You guys have seen that. It's been on my channel the first day I went to see him, before buying him, everything in between. He was an incredible horse from the very beginning. There will 100% never be another horse like him. And I think that's something that I've struggled with ever since dealing with his health issues, is that I just knew that it wasn't something replaceable. And I had to come to terms with that from kind of like a very early stage. Emporio was doing amazing in his training. And when he was about 7 years old, we started to see some health issues start to pop up. Which were very strange. I've actually made some videos about them, being quite honest and open. You guys will remember that he was standing very strangely, very wide. He was quite uncomfortable when he had to bring his neck down to eat, all that kind of stuff. And actually, so from when he was a 7-year-old, these things started to pop up, and it took us quite a few, I think 1.5 to 2 years to get a diagnosis. It was very difficult and very tricky. On x-rays, we couldn't see anything. On ultrasounds, we couldn't see anything. There was some inconsistency in terms of the symptoms. We didn't know if it was something neurological, if it was in the body. We just didn't know exactly where to go. So I ended up doing a full bone scintigraphy with him, and that gave us some clues. We continued to go in and out of the vets. Eventually, we committed to doing a full CAT scan of him as well. And that's where things kind of lit up, and we were able to find the problem areas, which came from the neck. And it wasn't something related to training. It was something he was born with. So we kind of were able to get that understanding, and we started to treat the neck. I didn't want to use any harsh drugs or synthetics, so we tried to use as natural as possible in terms of injecting his neck with muscle relaxants, trying to alleviate the pain and some of the stress. But actually, I was started to go every like 6 to 8 months for injections, and then it was every 4 months, and then it was every 3 months, and then it was every 2 months, until the point where the injections were no longer working at all. And through 𝒋𝒐𝒏𝒆𝒚, which I think is one of the best vets that I have access to, and other vets, consulting with them, we tried various other horse medications. We ended up seeing that because of the nerve pain in the neck, he wasn't reacting to anything. Operating there was too many points in the neck we would have to operate on, so operating wasn't an option. So we started to go into human medicine. We trialed some different, and at this point we had already realized it wasn't going to get better. It was just about making his lifestyle good. It wasn't about like, oh, I'm gonna pump him full of drugs and then I can ride him. It was like, okay, I have to make the decision to retire him. There's no doubt about that, but how do we keep him comfortable in the field so he has like a high quality of life? So we went into the human medicine, and then eventually we landed on something that was alleviating the pain, but it did mean that he was 24/7 on medication.
And it was also difficult finding the right one because you didn't want him to change as a horse himself.
It was, yeah.
Personality. If you have too much like medication, it's also not good.
Yeah.
So it's finding the right balance where he was still himself and happy and also comfortable.
Yeah, because we tried obviously in the trial process, because what he has is quite rare. It was difficult to find the right solution, and so we tried various different pain relief medications, and some of them he was like basically drugged out of his mind, like he was stumbling and it was too much, and it was a very difficult road to try and find the right management, but we did. Once we found the right ones, we brought him home, and he was just living in the field. And even though it was sad to like not be able to ride him and not to be able to share that, I was happy that I at least had him and that he was just able to stay with us here at home. But whilst we were able to kind of somewhat manage the neck issue, he also had an autoimmune issue that basically attacked his own feet, which was the even rarer, more difficult thing he was dealing with. And we tried everything already for like 4 years almost. This started before we even understood the neck issue. We knew this was going on, and we tried with topical treatments. We tried with medication, like ingested medication through injection, because we had to try and resolve it. But all we could do was slow it down. We couldn't actually stop it. And so you guys know I also took the shoes off. We tried basically everything to try and help the feet. We worked.
You went like to special farriers every
5 weeks. I went to the vet farrier in Belgium to make sure that he had the best treatment to try and get on top of this with the feet, but it just wasn't coming good. And then it was like, okay, wait, so Monday. So it was on Friday. We were just walking outside, and then I saw in the corner of my eye that he was very lame. So I went to him to check him, and he had some swelling on his left front, kind of knee down. And because he was so lame, like almost three-legged lame, and it came so quickly, I just thought to myself, like, oh, it's maybe like an ulcer, like a hoof ulcer, something like that, something that just comes in really quick. And
because he was doing quite well.
He was.
You even lunched him a bit again, and yeah, he was happy and he was calm because, of course, you gelded him as well. So he was just relaxing in the field, and he was, I think, finding his own.
Yeah, that's a good part, actually. I forgot about that. So obviously I did geld him because I wanted him to have a high quality of life in his retirement, and maybe in the future to be able to mix him with a small group or Enzo. That was always like the main goal, to have father and son growing up together. That would have been really nice. And I want to make clear as well that gelding him only had a positive effects on him. Nothing relating to his passing had to do with the gelding. They did it
already a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. They did an incredible job. We actually saw him change for the better, even though he was an older stallion.
Strange, because the first time he came here as a stallion, he was screaming and running and rearing.
Oh my gosh, he was
which was
wild.
Really beautiful. But then he came home as a gelding, and he straight away was already like just started eating.
Yeah, he really settled, and he started to live a more restful life.
He was still giving Annie like this little thing, and Annie is still in love with him, but
yeah, Annie still could get him going. That was true. But all in all, we were really happy with the decision of gelding him. He relaxed a lot in his demeanor, and again, that had nothing to do with his passing. But so Friday, I saw that he was lame, and then I contacted my vets, and because we didn't know exactly what it was, we said, okay, let's put him on like an anti-inflammatory and give it a couple of days. I was icing the leg and just keeping an eye on it, but my gut feeling already was not good, because on that left front he had a crack that we've been trying to fix, but it kept coming back.
It felt like around the crack also already that we were like, this feels a bit.
Yeah, and then we saw that slowly there was a superior crack on top of the coronet band starting to form as well, instead of just like a lateral crack. There was one right on the coronet band as well. And this was the problem of this very rare autoimmune issue he had, is that it just affected the growth of his hoof. It created infections. It was just very difficult. And I knew that it was a degenerative thing. It was something that was only going to get worse. And we were just doing our best to slow it down. But it was just...
Then we did the x-rays.
Yeah, so then I called the vet on Monday, and I said, listen guys, it's not getting better. We have to get x-rays done and check what's going on with this hoof. And so we did the x-rays, and basically the bone in the hoof was starting to rotate, and the hoof was separated from the horn. It was starting to basically let go. There was a whole pocket of air. And obviously that's what was causing the lameness, and
it would only get worse. It wouldn't get better. There was no treatment for it.
Yeah,
what they could do to help.
I mean, the initial feedback I got from the vets, I in my heart, I knew on Friday that I was like, okay, this is it. This is, because I'm quite aware of what he has, and I've done a lot of research. But then it was confirmed to me on Monday after the x-rays that there was nothing that we could do. And I said, listen, is there anything at all, even if it's small, is there anything that we can try? And she said, we just don't have any options left. And so actually the decision was then made for me, because it was clear that we couldn't keep a horse in pain. And so we decided that, I mean, for me, it was, once I knew that, and he was in pain and we were in pain, I was like, there's no point prolonging this and just getting like a week or something. I was like, it's time. Like, now is the time. So,
I mean, it's never the right time.
No.
You did really well, I think, for the whole process with him. Like, from the very beginning, he did everything for you, but you did everything for him. And with the training, with the whole, like, this shithole, you've done everything right by him, and you've tried more than you could. And even in this decision, I think.
Yeah, and I wanted him to go, like, I was told a very long, like 2-3 years ago, I was told by one of the vets, they told me, though, like, this is never going to be a horse that lives very long. Like, he's not going to grow old in his age because of the issues he had. And when they told me that, I always thought to myself, when he has to go, I want him to go with grace, and not like this crippled, broken horse that's been suffering on and on and on and on and on forever and clinging on. I wanted him to go with grace. And I just felt like it was the right time. Once I got those news, and he was so lame, and I knew that he couldn't get better and that he wasn't. Yeah, the decision was made for me, and it was quite, I wouldn't say like it was never going to be something that was easy, but it was something that helped me in just saying, okay, then we're going to do it this afternoon. So we spent some time with him and just tried to enjoy the last couple of hours. It was very strange because the grief already kind of begins.
Strange that you know what that is. Like, you don't want to believe it, because at least for me, I'm in denial very quickly. So all these years, I think for myself, I just didn't really think so, and I would just hope it will get better.
Yeah, I've been kind of upset throughout the way.
You had many moments already that you were like not happy.
Yeah, just obviously crying and being upset because I knew every time it was like, okay, this isn't working, that's not working, the results are getting worse, I have to retire him. And then getting him on a medication that was actually working, it was a very long road. It wasn't, I would say I lost my horse slowly. It wasn't like an overnight thing. And I think for some people, like that's maybe how it appears because the news came quite sudden, but it was like I just lost him like slowly in the past 3 years.
But it still went really quick.
Yeah.
But I think because you two are really special together, and you really had this special magic about you, and I think that's very beautiful to have and very lucky to have, but it was just way too short. But maybe it was so much goodness that it's like,
yeah, I mean, he gave me so much, and in that afternoon we laid him to rest and we euthanized him here in the field. I didn't want to bring him anywhere. I just wanted him to be comfortable and to be home here. So we put him to sleep, and he was just in the field right here. It's his field, the one just in front of the house, the one that we can see. And you were there, I was there, and the vet was there. We were there in his final moments, which I think he appreciated. It's difficult as an owner to do that, but actually it was really, well, as awful as it was and as emotional as it was very nice to be there.
You were really with him, like holding him to the whole process.
Yeah.
You wanted to
I wanted him to know that I was there. And I didn't want him to feel alone because I think it's quite a scary thing. So we were there, and then once the vet left, obviously he was still there. And we just sat with him, and I'm so grateful to you because you were there for the whole process with me, and I couldn't have done it without you there next to me. But it was very difficult, but it was also very beautiful to have that time with him just there. Even though he had passed, he was so beautiful and strong still, and just he was just like majestic in his death. He was just like, I always say there's nothing Emporio didn't do perfectly, and he did death perfectly. Like even when he passed, he fell down easy. There was like a peace about it. He just took kind of like 2 big breaths.
He just didn't change. Like with sometimes when you see a horse pass, they really change. Because we've seen some horses pass. Luckily, knock on everything, not
none of
our
us.
own.
Yeah, none of us.
But still, that's terrible. But then sometimes you see the horse, you're like, okay, the horse is kind of gone. But with him, I didn't have that at all. I felt like he was just there.
Yeah, I had the same.
We really spent so many hours there just laying with him. And then we left for a second, and then we came back with the candles in the evening. Maybe you can say it better, but it's like, I think it's been a really nice process, even though it was very difficult.
Yeah.
And still is very difficult.
And it was so painful and so difficult, and actually the only thing that helped was being with him. So it was so comforting, just him there, because it still felt like him. It didn't feel, he just has this presence, and it's only something you can experience if you've met him. He just has this he just had this aura about him that he felt invincible, even though he had all these things. Like if you just saw him in the field, you would never say he had, like the way his body looked, the way he behaved, and how sweet he was. You would never say that he had anything. So it was difficult to kind of like let go of that, and we couldn't. So we spent a lot of time with him, which was nice. Here in the Netherlands, it's a little bit different. You're not allowed to bury a horse at your own property. That's illegal. So you have 2 options. Someone's at the door delivering flowers, which is very nice. We've had flowers come in yesterday and today. I think yes, also like it's so nice when you're actually going through these processes, like people's care and thoughts that go into like sending a card, sending flowers, sending a sweet message, and that's why I wanted to like actually quite quickly share everything online, because I found that that really helped, and I didn't want to hide it, and I did not want to talk about it. I wanted to talk about it with everybody.
Because I also don't think there's anything wrong with it.
Yeah,
Like it's nice to be able to share. Like it's not about like
I know. I
just
mean,
posting it. It's about like a process. It's about you share everything.
yeah,
This is part of it. He deserves it. It's like
yeah. And I also was like, I mean, I've seen people post these kind of things before in the past, and part of me goes, oh, why don't you keep that private? Like, it sometimes is such an intimate moment, it's such a private moment that I feel like it's not meant to be seen by others. But at least for myself, it helped sharing it. And then I was like, okay, if it at least serves me, even though that's selfish, I was like, even if it serves me in my grief, then it's worth doing. And also because of how we still felt like he was there. It didn't feel like we were posting. It just felt like we were posting with him, which we always did. But as I was saying, in the Netherlands, it's not legally allowed to bury a horse on your own property. So you have two options. You can do there's like the general thing, which is like they just get picked up in kind of this animal truck, and then they just get taken somewhere. I don't know what they do with them, to be honest.
it's burn them all, I think.
Yeah, or I heard like they make glue, or sometimes they make dog food, or I don't know what they do.
You can also bring them to the slaughterhouse. A lot
Yeah.
of people do that too.
Yeah, and I knew I didn't want to go down that road because it's not what I felt like he deserved. So we've gotten him cremated. They picked him up.
Which is just crazy thing that he's just not here anymore.
Yeah, that's really when he passed on the last day before they picked him up. I didn't feel like taking his tail, but I always had such a connection with him because of his mane, so I took parts of his mane.
He spent hours and hours doing his mane, full of cuts after.
Yeah.
Because the hair was sharp.
Yeah. But so I took parts of his mane, and it's odd because I have them in this little box, and it's just so strange to think that in a matter of days, that's all that's left of my horse is those plaits, and that's it. But it's a nice memory of him. So we did get him cremated, and I decided not to be there when they picked him up because it's not a very nice thing to see, I think. So you did it with the company, and that was really nice of you that you could help me with that, because I couldn't see that.
I mean, I think they still do it in a nice way, but it's still like you don't want to handle your horse.
No.
And move your horse like that. You just want to have the nice memories.
Yeah, and the last
we had really nice.
Yeah,
moments.
The last memories I have are just him laying in the field with us there.
I feel like in a way, because you can really connect in life, and you were very connected, but these last moments when we spent hours with him also were like a connection on a deeper level again, because it was just quiet.
It was like spiritual. I don't know. It was so sad and so awful, but it was so like magical at the same time. I don't know. It was like, it helped a lot to have that time.
And what I think was very special, we left him some candles also when we went inside again. And even though the weather wasn't great, the candles stayed on for hours and hours.
Yeah.
I don't even know how.
Yeah, because it was
they
very
were like
windy.
Next to him, and you could see them from the house.
Yeah. But I mean, once it happened, you and I kind of looked at each other when we were in the house, and we were like, how the hell are we going to do this 9 more times? Because
I don't want any more horses.
Yeah, but that's kind of like, it's just the hardest part of having horses, and especially if you're lucky enough to find this one horse that you have this incredible connection with, which is like rare in itself. But then to let them go and to say goodbye is just like, it's unimaginable. I've never experienced anything like this.
I saw this thing online that they said that you make like a deal with the devil when you get this connection with your animal, because it's like the price you pay in the end.
Yeah.
But it's very beautiful and very special, and I try to really feel him in moments during the day, like really nice moments, like a leaf coming by or the sun, or like, because I feel like he is still there, just in like a whole different way. I don't think he's like up in heaven or something. I think he's just all around in like little energy parts and moments.
Yeah.
Which is quite nice, but it is very, very difficult.
it's hard because like he was my inspiration for basically everything I've done. Like the reason why I wanted to share stuff on social media is because I was so proud of him and what we had, and I had so much joy in what I did that I wanted to share that. And then I always wanted to have the possibility to live with him, and that's part of the reason why we have this place and why we are improving it so much and trying to give our best, is because I mean, for me, he was such a big motivator for every day to do my best for my horses. I mean, all of them are, but he really led me down that path. I don't know how to describe it. It was just like he was the reason why everything went round in my life, and why I pushed and why I did and why I shared. And it's difficult because I already had to come to kind of amends with the retirement, but without having him there at all, it's such a hole that's left behind, and I don't know what is going to become that new thing. And it's not fair to like expect it of other horses to take his place, and no one will ever take his place.
It will be quite hard to open up like this again.
Yeah.
It just broke my heart when the next morning and you were just out looking out the window and I just saw you break again, and just like,
Yeah, it's been a very difficult
when he's gone.
it's just been a very, very difficult couple of days, and I think it's not over yet. I feel like I've cried so much and been so upset that like now I'm at the point of like just having to like actually face reality of everything. But every day there's little reminders and little things that make you think about nice moments, about not nice moments. But
I know for sure you guys will like always find each other again.
yeah,
Which is in a good like feeling, I guess.
Yeah,
if you believe in these things, of course. But I think you will.
Yeah, and I got to do so many things with him I had him for 7 years. I bought him when he was 3, and he's 10.
You straight away were like in love with him.
Yeah, we had like a bunch of horses. We flew to Spain. He was the first horse I saw. He was the reason I took the flight in the first place to go there and see horses. But we had like 4 days arranged of like looking at a bunch of horses before making my decision. And he's the first one I saw. And I've never been like this, but I said, okay, cancel all the other appointments. We're going to do the vet check on him. And he's like, I was like, why do I need to search? We found each other. Like, I don't need to search any further. So he was special from the very, very beginning. And I never had a bad ride on him. We always connected. He always wanted to interact. He was so affectionate, so loving, so sweet.
Cuddling always when you put your hands in his leg. Yeah. All his head weight in it.
Yeah, but even
always came up for like a cuddle to everybody.
He just had these two sides of him. He was like so affectionate and so soft, but like so powerful as well, and such a presence about him.
But I think he's always been the center of everything.
Yeah,
even in our lives, and he just.
And I think we got used to it, and now that we don't have that, we're like, I think we're both shocked at just how much it affected us and what a void it's left behind. But we all truly did our best to save him and make the best decisions by him, and in the end, this was the best decision by him, was to let him go.
It was very difficult, but I know for sure that you've done really everything from the beginning, since you have him, till the very end, everything that you could not have done anything better.
Yeah.
And him as well.
And it's been nice. I've obviously received a lot of messages, and there's been a lot of people sharing their moment where they had to let their horse go, and I can find a lot of community and understanding in that. So it's been nice, everyone sharing their special last moments, or kind of reassuring me of the decision and the fact that it's difficult, but it's the right thing. So maybe this video will touch 1 or 2 people that are in a similar situation, and then I hope that you feel that you're not alone. And actually, there was one girl that I follow, that I've been following for a long time. She has Lusitanos, and she had a very special connection to a horse that she lost. And I think it was the day he passed, I went back to look at her post of what she wrote, because she wrote such a beautiful thing, and that actually really helped me reading her post, and I don't know, finding understanding in that and like sharing that as well. So I hope that by also me sharing this, for anyone else who's struggling or still feels pain or these kind of things, just to say that you're not alone, and yeah, we all go.
We can't see if it gets better yet.
Yeah, that we don't know yet, but I'm hoping so, and I hope that in the future, obviously, I have Enzo, who's going to be coming here, and he's the foal from my horse, from Emporio. And I hope that in the future I get to see glimpses of Emporio through him. That's my greatest wish and gift. I don't want, he doesn't need to be this incredible top horse, or doesn't need, it's not about him having to be like him, because no one will ever be like him. But I hope that just every now and then I get to see a glimpse of Emporio through him, and that will already be like the biggest gift ever. And also, this, so many weird things happen when you go through stuff like this. I was saying to Jess, I was like, I understand, because some people get their pets taxidermied, which I always was like, this is the most weird thing ever. But when I was there with him, I was like, I get it. I get why people do it, because even though they're gone, it's just their presence means so much, and you just don't want to miss that. It just like makes you think about so many things so differently, and it's making me like also reevaluate a lot of things within my horses and things. That's just making me myself ask a lot of questions. So we'll see, but I don't know. We're just gonna kind of take it day by day now. I wanted to share this with you guys and be honest and be a little bit transparent. I wanted you guys to know what was going on. I do have some more videos that are going to come out, stuff that I've already shot, which I'm still excited to share. We're still going to continue to share everything. I'm just going to take a little bit of time to kind of gather everything back up. But I don't want to honor him with just sadness. So I want to try, and we have so much to look forward to, and so many good things to remember him by, that I want to try and go down that road as quickly as I can. And we have lots to be grateful for still. We're surrounded by so many special people, special horses.
I'm just happy that he has been here.
Yeah, me too.
That his soul is here.
Yeah. And he had his last moments here with us as well.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's kind of everything. I didn't really know what the purpose of this video would be. I don't know if it made any sense, or if it was, I don't know, but I just wanted to talk and tell you guys. But again, we really appreciate all your support, and I thank you for everything, and also for you guys being part of our journey. I feel like it doesn't end here, and I will continue to honor him through all the different things that I'll continue to do. And we're going to try, and we've marked the spot where he passed, and we're going to be doing some sort of something to tribute him there as well. I want to have a place on the property that I can still go to and think about him, and I feel like that spot was quite special, so I think we're going to be doing something there. And yeah.
But I want you to know you should be really proud of yourself. It's been like the worst thing to go through.
We did our best.
It's been very strong for him, and I'm really sorry for you. It's really...
Well, I'm glad we could go through it together. I mean, as awful as it was, I'm so glad you were there, and you helped me so much through all of it. And you guys too. But that's it for now. Thank you all again for your support, and for watching, and for following us. And we will catch you guys on the next one. Bye.